This is Beauty, and today I decided to do a cooking video, though my kitchen was not looking so good. So I decided to do the dishes first. So that's me soaping the dishes. Then once I was done, I rinsed the dishes as usual. This took me almost an hour because I was recording, and this is my first video in 2026, by the way. I'm hoping to be very consistent. So I rinsed and rinsed and rinsed. Those are my spoons over there. Once I was done, I remembered that I need to wipe my gas. So took a little bit of water and yokitambaya kitchen, then decided to do some wiping over there. And then I realized that my angle ya camera was very shitty, and then I changed the angle, of course, and continued doing my wiping. I did wipe and wipe and wipe, by the way. This is what I do every day when I'm cleaning utensils, gas, and then counters. So I wiped that back part because I feel like nikipika sometimes mafuta inarukaruka huko juu. And then I wiped that glass part that also looks a bit dull right after cooking. Here I was just randomly wiping the gas. And then I was done over there. Took that reusable kitchen towel to just make my gas look shiny. It's really nice on mirrors as well and windows. Anything glass, it wipes so good. You see how it cleans that top glass part that covers the gas. So there I was just checking to see if the job was well done. Checked on my dishes over there. And then I did put back those, I don't know what they're called. So my gas was clean and ready to use. Then I remembered I have another counter just next to my gas. This wasn't that dirty. I just wanted to wipe it just to feel like I have done the whole counter. I didn't want to leave it out. So I have two sets of spoons over there, silicone and wooden. I feel like the wooden ones are better than the silicone ones. Yep. And they're cheaper, by the way. So I use the silicone ones nowadays for just random stuff that I'm gonna show you as the video continues. So there I took my egg tray to wipe it with the microfiber cloth. It does a good job, as you can see. Then went back to my sink to do the final wiping, just to dry off that part of the sink. That's me cleaning and cleaning. That was very loud music at this point. Then now I was done cleaning my sink. There you go. And wow, this was a 10 out of 10. So once I was done, I just checked out everything and I hopped into cooking. Those were my ingredients. I was making baked potatoes and wet fry. That's my meat. Hiyo ni nyama ya 300. Nyama ya 300 ni kidogo aki Nairobi. Put it in my gas real quick. Covered it. Went to do my vegetables. Just chopping and chopping. Here I was doing some prepping. The music here was so loud. I was lost in it. I did so much of the chopping. Danias were done. I took my garlic over there. Prepared it for crushing, put it aside, did put my garlic in there, and then I took my hoho. This hoho was so big, I thought I would use half of it, but I ended up using all of it anyway. Chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped and chopped. There you go. I think I need a new chopping board. That chopping board is now, it should retire. I chopped my tomatoes, but then my knife was really doing a bad job because it was very blunt, but I just kept going. So I diced my onions over there. Tada! Chopped that onion into lemon into two. Checked my meat, it was almost done. Dania over there, onions and lemon, garlic, I had not crushed it yet, tomatoes and green pepper. Went back to chopping or to peeling my potatoes. I did peel and peel the knife here was still doing me that thing. So here I was almost done. And this was the last potato. And then I took off those whatever. And then I washed the potatoes. Of course, I diced them over there since I didn't want to keep using my hand. You know that old way ya kukata viazi, you end up cutting your hand. So I didn't want to do that. So I just put them there and diced them there. It was easy and actually faster. Hapo, I washed the potatoes. Those potatoes were good for baking. And then those were dry. And then I did crush the garlic. I did some crushing over there. Crush. And then once I was done, tada, that was the result. Ready to use. I gave my daughter a piece of meat to test if it was done. She was back from school. And then I pat dry my potatoes. This is what I do when I pat dry my potatoes. I put them on this same piece of cloth because that's its job. And then I wipe the potatoes dry. I just realized that when you bake potatoes, when they are really, really dry, they really bake so good. Unlike when they are wet. So I did pat them dry. Then once I was done, I took my paprika and I smeared a good amount, by the way. I didn't really keep. I didn't really bambanya. That's the word. There you go. So I do smear my spices on my potatoes before I put oil, because I feel like when I put oil first, the spices do shed off, like they run down. The oil runs them down. So I did sprinkle some oil. This is why I love baking. It saves a lot of cooking oil. Please don't put a lot of oil. So there you go. So that's what I use my silicone spoons for nowadays, to mix up stuff like that, you know. I don't really use them on heat. So there you go. My potatoes were ready to go to the oven. I did place them in the oven and I realized that my meat was ready up there. So I was cooking at the same time. So I switched on the oven, 200 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. Went back to doing the wet fry. I did put some cooking oil and then put some onions in there. As usual, that's the first step anyway. So onions done. I did stir them. And then I realized that I had put very little cooking oil, added some more cooking oil. And then I took my mwiko and did some stirring a little bit. And then I added garlic. When I put the garlic, of course, I did stir more and more over there. I did take my soy sauce. Kaeka kiasi tu. Lakini hii nyama ni kidogo bwana. Hii ni nyama ya 300 kweli yaki Nairobi. Wacha tu. Aya, so nikakoroga hapo, and then I did put my onions and green pepper. Ooh. I really wish I got the red ones and the yellow ones, but anyway, ni sawa tu. You can actually add that if you're going to try out this. So there I did some stirring, and then I added some little maji, some water, so that the food would not stick. Since these sofurias are the old ones, I still cannot afford the non-stick ones. And then I did cover it. Checked on my potatoes after 20 minutes and they were halfway done. And then I did take the spatula and decided to, turn them, mix. And then I placed them back. Came and checked on my meat. This was now looking like what I wanted. Ooh, look at that. And it was smelling so good, by the way, at this point. So I just did some stirring, and I did stir. And then I remembered that I had not put royco. Just took a little bit of it, nikaweka. I didn't add salt since I had put salt in the garlic. I boiled the meat with salt, and then the royco seasoning is also a bit salty, so I didn't add any salt. But that was perfectly okay. I did stir a little bit, and then I took my dania, nikaweka hapo ndani as the last. I never used to like this kitambo, but nowadays I really like using dania as the last thing in my stew. That was good. Really, really good. Yes. And the smell was actually heavenly, you know. So there you go. So my meat was done. And then after like 10 minutes, the potatoes were done. And I tried to do the test to check if the potatoes were cooked. Oh, that was hot. That actually burnt me, by the way. But that was cooked good. Decided to take a bigger chunk. And the result was the same. So yes, and then I took my wet fry, put it on the counter, did 2 plates there for my son and my daughter. And did some serving. So I realized that some potatoes did stick, but as you can see, they didn't stick that bad. So we are on the right track. There you go. And they did not overcook too. So I just took the spatula. At this point, I was tired. The aesthetic was not aestheticing. And I was like, you know what? I am so hella tired. I took the meat, served. This was so good. I don't know how much to tell you to try this. Yeah, but this was so good. So that was my daughter's plate and my son's plate. And my daughter requested that I sprinkle some lemon on hers. And tada, that's exactly what I did. Thank you guys for watching.